Right, so it is Sunday. I am going to be starting my first week of outdoor prep. Next week it's sort of like an 8-week prep to my opener, so just sort of trying to build on some longer sprint qualities. It's something that I've definitely sort of neglected in the past quite a bit, especially last year because I was coming back from my hamstring injury obviously, and then I tried to go straight into like longer sprint work and I just didn't feel like very fatigued from it, so then we kind of like stopped doing that and just did some like max velocity and sort of like the shorter, longer sprints. So yeah, we've got kind of like a plan outlined with acceleration development, some hills / resisted sprints on the Monday. Wednesday's a little bit of max V, and then Saturday will be my speed endurance day. So that is the current sort of schedule. Looking forward to doing, the speed endurance, the longer sprint work. I definitely feel like, as I say, it's the area that I need to work on the most. So yeah, just looking forward to doing that. So we've got some jumping planned as well. I'll kind of just have to see how my knee fares with it. I'll maybe get my coach to change the Wednesday jumps to like an Olympic lift day, because I find the Olympic lifts don't sort of hit my knee as hard as like just jumps do in general. So yeah, that's kind of like the current sort of thoughts on the week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So as well, week 1 on Monday, I am going to test my RSI on a force plate. I know a guy that works at the Strathclyde Uni Strength and Conditioning, and yeah, I'm going to use the force plates there, do a little bit of RSI testing, and yeah, do some counter movement jumps as well, no arm swings probably. We'll see what we can kind of muster up week 1. Maybe I'll do no arm swings actually. Yeah, might as well do no arm swings. I'll see how I feel on the day, but that's sort of the current plans. So yeah, that's really it. Okay, so someone asked for a voiceover, so let me know if you prefer the voiceover, if you think it's better just to watch the raw training clips, or just kind of like what your preference is for content. So we'll actually have something that's a little bit different towards the end of the video. So if you like that format better as well, you can let me know, and I'll try and do that format in future more as well. So yeah, I'll just sort of like talk over the week roughly. So yeah, Monday started off with some resisted accelerations, some 30 meters, and not gonna lie, I felt quite rusty after 2.5 weeks of not really doing any form of sprinting, other than like, I did some strides obviously like the week before this when I was like transitioning into like outdoor training, but other than that, like I hadn't really properly sprinted with any intent. So that was my first time doing that, and yeah, definitely felt quite sluggish. The times were quite slow, quite a bit off my best sort of resisted 30s. So yeah, definitely a lot of work to be done, but I'm confident that I can, claw it back and definitely do a lot better as the cycle progresses. So yeah, then on the weight room side of things, everything actually was really good. So RDLs were feeling super strong at 120. Like I think the plan was to go 85% on RDLs, and that 120 was 100%, not 85%. I honestly think it was closer to sort of like 75%, like looking back at how fast it was moving. But yeah, it's better to sometimes just be conservative with like, weight training and stuff. Like the lifting portion's not as important always. It's definitely more important to get higher quality, sprint work in, especially for an athlete like me that's not had as much exposure to sort of upright running to, sprinting in general, I guess, as an athlete that came from jumping to sprinting. So I definitely think it's a lot more important to have a bigger focus on sprints for myself at the moment. But yeah, weight room's good to push as well, but as I say, it's better to be conservative. And then as well with like squats on Monday, like I had an all-time fastest 120 rep. So yeah, strength's definitely moving in a really good direction. Just need to translate to the track for a successful season, and I don't doubt that with John behind me I can get this done. So yeah, moving on to Wednesday, I was feeling really sore actually after Monday's workouts. I think the hip thrusts partially were it, because I was moving them really fast, so that was probably creating quite a lot of like muscle damage in the hamstrings. And then I think as well the RDLs, and just because it's a new cycle, like anytime it's a new cycle you're always going to feel a little more sore than what you have in the past. So something just to kind of keep in mind. You've got to just make it through the gauntlet that is the first week of a new training cycle. So yeah, I was just very cautious with things. I was hoping that they would kind of be healed up. I left the session to sort of as late as I could so that I could be as recovered as possible. So yeah, this was at like 4 p.m. I think I started the session around about 4 p.m. and I just sort of like built the sprints up really slowly. So I got my warm up in, made sure I was feeling really warm, and then I just sort of built it up from, I think it was like 111 for the first rep, 109 for rep 2, oh no, it was 114, sorry, for rep 1, 109 for rep 2, 106 for rep 3, and then the final rep was 0.98. So this is on the free rep. Obviously I video timed it and it was, you know, quite a bit slower, but you know, video timing is always just going to be more accurate than the free lap, especially for something like a 10 meter fly where there's a lot more sort of like margin for error essentially. So yeah, that was the training for Wednesday. On the sprint side of things, it went quite well. I managed to, you know, not pull a hamstring, which is the main thing, and I did feel quite good after getting the sprints in. I definitely feel like I could have pushed a lot harder and ran quicker, but good to come out of it healthy, that's the main thing. And then yeah, Friday was just this little shakeout session, so I'm going to end the voiceover here, because you'll see in a minute that I will talk over the video. So got last jump here, last triple board jump. Put a little daffodil in the middle of the pit where 9 meters 30 is, so if we can go over that, that'd be a new PR for standing triple. You're going to see, I think it's looking a bit flat on the footage, but I'll see if I can kind of pull something out of the bag. So far 9.04 is the best, so see if I can do better than that. Right, so here's the results. So we have this foot, so look, this foot was past it by about 5 centimeters maybe, so like 9.35. And then this foot was maybe like, you know, maybe a good 20 centimeters back. But I kind of roughly drawn a line. It's very rough, but it's about 9.10 to 9.15, I'd say. And we have like a proper tape measure. I've just got this like regular one here. But yeah, I'll give it like a 9, I'll say like 9.13. I honestly think about 9.13 would be what it is, but not a bad first attempt after like, you know, as I say, 2.5 years of not really doing this. So looking forward to improving this week to week. Yeah, so this session on Friday was pretty much just a shakeout. It was a really easy workout. I really have enjoyed actually doing the triple broad jumps. So I'm going into week 3 at the moment, so I'm excited to do those again. This week my knee's been sort of holding up well against them, so I think that's a positive. Like, it's been feeling a bit sore, but during the session it doesn't hurt. So I'm just kind of like isoing and hoping that it'll kind of just keep progressing and not get any worse essentially. So then moving on to Saturday. Saturday was like my main training day, working on some speed endurance. So it was a bit annoying because I had to do this session before work. I couldn't really, you know, go up to like the Emirates Arena. I don't even think the Emirates was actually open this week anyway, but yeah, I wasn't able to go up to like an indoor track to do this. I had to do it outside, and it was like 7 degrees out, so very cold. And it's like, I think like an underrated thing about running in the cold is obviously you're going to be slower, but in terms of like tendons, like your tendons aren't going to be as stiff in the cold. It's just sort of like, you know, it's just sort of something that happens physiologically that you can't really, you know, you can't do anything against it. You can warm up as much as you want, but you're not going to be able to really run the same as what you'd be able to run if it was like, you know, 16 degrees or more out, which I find that's kind of like the optimum temperatures for running for myself. So yeah, ended up running 9.36 for the final 80, which is not too far from my all-time 80 meter PR, but yeah, very slow, but it's a starting point for week 1. So yeah, looking forward to pushing it as the cycle progresses, and stay tuned for next week's episode.